guys, welcome back to Abode's YouTube channel. I'm Jasmine, and today we're going to continue on with the previous project of my office space. I'm so excited for you guys to see the next part of this, which is the slat wall. This is a little bit more extensive, but it's going to be well worth it in the end. So just as a refresher, here is actually the rendering that we created last time, and after going back and reviewing that again, I decided to switch it up a little bit. So here's the new rendering with a couple of tweaks. I've decided to change the colors of the slats to a beautiful beige, buttery color that I think is gonna really look great in the space. That will actually work better with the room, especially since we have this black wall over here that's going to be our gallery wall for our photographs. There are other elements that we're adding in here also that are going to just create such an impressive, dramatic effect when you look at these bookshelves, and I can't wait for you guys to see. I can't just tell you all about it. We actually have to do it. I can't wait for you guys to check it out when it's all done. But first, we got to get to the hardware store. So let's go. Alright guys, so at this point I'm actually checking out each piece, and this is something that you should do when you're in the store to make sure that there's no defects, no major chips, and that they're all as straight as you can see. And for the countertop board, we're actually going to have that cut by a specialist here at Lowe's. And the size of that can be found right here on our list of materials. Feel free to pause this so you can see everything that we got for this project. Always make sure your measurements are correct before you cut or start work on anything. I opted to use a paintbrush for this one because I actually just like painting with a paintbrush. It's actually very soothing, and since this was a small project, I decided to go ahead and do it by hand. My 1-year-old got a hold of my ring light. Having a whole meltdown, but it was nap time, so it's fine. Alright, and back to it. So Mason used a miter saw to cut the slats in bunches of, I think, 4 or 5, to make sure that they were more or less all the same length, and we cut them down to about 65 inches. And actually used a paint sprayer to do the slats, just so it'd be easier. You of course can use a brush. What I will just say is, if you have time, go ahead and sand these. We didn't, and I just have a little bit nitpicky things about some of them not being super smooth. So here I'm sanding and preparing the countertop board for some stain. I knew I wanted the countertop to be bold color, but I also wanted it to have a lot more character, so I didn't go for one of the more light stains. I chose to go with a pretty dark stain, and I love how it turned out. So the process that I did was to use a brush to get the stain on the thickness that I wanted, and I let it sit for a couple seconds, and then I wiped it off with a paper towel. There's plenty of ways to apply stain, but the rule of thumb is the darker you want it, the longer you let it sit before you start wiping it off, if you wipe it off at all. And then I actually used some clear polyurethane to seal it because we want to make sure we protect it from any water or wear over time. And then, you know, just leave this to sit for a couple hours if you can, so it can dry completely. We were being super careful because this countertop was not completely dry. It was still a little bit tacky, so don't do what we did. And I'm just using a hammer here to kind of make sure that the slats are close to the spacer we created. Our spacer is actually a ½ inch. And we wanted to make sure that all of the spaces were as equal as possible. So we used this spacer that Mason just cut out of a spare piece of wood that we had. So the process was move the spacer, place the slat that has the liquid nails on the back, and then use your hammer to place it where it needs to go exactly, and then your brad nailer to secure it. Try not to glob on too much of the liquid nails because it will squeeze out on the sides as you place it if it's too thick. And always make sure that the spacer is tight in between the two slats that you're placing so that you know that the lines are correct. And that's it. The last step is just to clean up these holes with some caulk. Make sure you wet your finger when you're doing this. It makes it easier to spread the caulk around. And then use a damp paper towel to clean off the excess caulk. And then with my finger, I just went and placed a couple dots of the extra paint. And there you have it. guys, that just about wraps up our slat wall project for my office space, and I love it. We had such a good time putting this together. It was super easy. We got it done in about 24 hours total, and so I'm so excited for how it turned out. It's a little bit labor intensive, but it's a labor of love because look how amazing this is, guys. Something you can totally pull off yourself with just a little bit of know-how. And if you're interested in trying it yourself, let us know. Leave us a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this coming to you soon. And if you haven't already, please feel free to sign up for our newsletter at our website, abodeaboveinteriors.com. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.